Minister of Health warns that some people are taking advantage of the COVID-19 outbreak to avoid working. The Public Works Ministries of Guyana and Suriname organized a site tour for the proposed location of the Corentyne River Bridge. PNCR biannual Congress to elect the party's next leader is heating up. In the region, Colombia Reconstruction, Providencia Island neglected post-hurricane, and internationally, Uganda's capital Kampala hit by twin suicide bombings. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. On Monday, the Ministry of Public Works of Guyana, in collaboration with the Ministry of Public Works of Suriname, hosted a site visit to the proposed site for the Corentyne River Bridge. The construction of a bridge linking Guyana and Suriname is a priority project for the governments of both countries, as has been reiterated on several occasions by Their Excellencies President Irfan Ali and President Chan Santoki. The governments of Guyana and Suriname have jointly agreed to realize the construction of the Corentyne River Bridge using the public-private partnership method of procurement with a design, build, finance, operate, maintain model contract. The 10 representatives from 4 formed joint ventures were in attendance. The consultants were given a tour of the proposed bridge landing sites in Molson Creek, Guyana and South Brain, Suriname, and a river tour around Long Island where the proposed bridge will connect. The deadline for the submission of proposals by the shortlisted consultancy firms is December 21st, 2021. Who will take over as the next leader of the People's National Congress Reform? This will be decided at the party's 21st biannual Congress on December 11, 2021. As the campaign heats up, 7 persons have been nominated for the position of the party's next leader. According to a statement released by the PNCR today, Aubrey Norton, Richard Van West Charles, Sharma Solomon, Waldo Lawrence, Joseph Harmon, Carl Greenwich, and Basil Williams were nominated for the leadership role. 68 persons were nominated for the party chairman, 30 persons nominated for party vice chairman, and 18 persons were nominated for party treasurer. Since it is common for a candidate to be nominated for and contest more than one position, the elections will be conducted in 2 stages. The results for each stage will be declared before moving on to the next stage. Stage 1, the leader, chairman, 2 vice chairpersons, and treasurer are elected. In stage 2, the elections of the members of the Central Executive Committee. All nominees will be written to and requested to confirm their acceptance of the nominations by a stipulated date. Failure to respond means that, should they otherwise qualify, their names will not automatically appear on the ballots for the position or positions for which they were nominated. The People's National Congress has been in existence for 64 years. According to the statement, this Congress is about how the party will reorganize and reposition itself. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa today met with rice farmers at the Guyana Rice Producers Association seed drying facility at Anna Region 2. During the meeting, farmers raised issues about the high prices they are currently paying for fertilizers, rates and taxes, leases, and also made requests for the rehabilitation of access to dams to transport their paddy. Minister Mustafa told the farmers that the cost of fertilizers has increased globally due to the increased cost of natural gas, coupled with the strain placed on global trade by the pandemic. The minister informed farmers that the government is currently in talks with bilateral partners, and those talks could soon see the prices for fertilizers decreasing. He also revealed that the systems are being put in place for the country to start manufacturing its fertilizers on a large scale, which will further reduce the prices on the local market. According to the farmers, the prices of fertilizers has more than doubled since the last crop, from $4,500 to $9,500. Stick around after the break. Minister of Health warned that some people are taking advantage of the COVID-19 outbreak to avoid working, and the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce launched the first digitalized visitors exit motivation survey.
when you need money and you gotta get it fast. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
For decades, milk has remained the same, until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Corentyne and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Welcome back. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony during today's COVID-19 update said if persons are exposed to the deadly virus, they should quarantine for 5 days before getting a PCR test. He said the test will read positive about 5 days after contracting the virus. However, the minister said that some persons are exploiting the COVID-19 pandemic to stay away from work. He went on to warn that some persons are reporting being exposed to the virus regularly, manipulating the mandatory quarantine period.
There are reports of persons who maybe every 2 weeks they have become exposed to somebody, and that is If there's a pattern like that, it's obvious that that employee or that person might just want days off rather than being genuinely sick with COVID. So some persons are exploiting the situation of claiming that they have been exposed to someone who has been positive for COVID, and that then can become very problematic.
Meanwhile, a person who claims to have been in contact with someone positive should be quarantined and tested. Minister Anthony said workplaces should adopt policies to verify such reports from employees. The Health Ministry continues to monitor persons in quarantine, especially those in home isolation, Dr. Anthony noted.
With the records that we have, we know those persons who are positive, and through the telephone system, we are able to contact those persons and to monitor to see whether or not they're experiencing signs and symptoms, severity of those signs and symptoms, and then if it becomes very severe, to get them into the hospital. And of course, we advise them about remaining isolated from the rest of the household, because if they don't, they're going to infect the whole household.
The Health Emergency Operations Center is also involved in active contact tracing, according to the minister. However, when there are a large number of infections, this becomes difficult.
If you have, say, 2,000 active cases, to each of those cases, sometimes you have to do contact tracing to maybe 5 to 10 persons. And that can become very challenging very quickly. And depending on which region you're in, it can pose extraordinary challenge for the staff.
There are currently 2,112 persons infected with COVID-19, with 83 new cases in the past 24 hours. 55 persons have been admitted to the hospitals. 38 of them were admitted to the infectious disease hospital, and 20 were admitted to the intensive care unit. On Tuesday, the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce launched the first digitalized visitor exit motivation survey at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport. The VEM survey will capture data on travelers' experiences in Guyana in areas ranging from accommodation to expenditure, which will help policymakers better understand the contribution of tourism to Guyana's economic growth and development. Deputy Chief Statistician of the Bureau of Statistics, Ian Monifold, stated that the digitalized format will replace in-person interviews, with visitors to Guyana soon able to respond to the survey by phone. Minister Wanage Waldron, in a statement, congratulated the Bureau of Statistics and the Guyana Tourism Authority on the launch. Quote, "This knowledge starts with collecting the data regarding the visitor experience, and this is what the Visitor Exit Motivation Survey represents to me. That first but indispensable step in the knowledge hierarchy. That is the collection of reliable data. We wish to know who our visitors are, where they came from, and what they did when they were here." End of quote. The digital survey will be available in 5 languages: English, French, Spanish, Dutch, and Portuguese, and will be accessible when individuals use the free Wi-Fi, which will also be available to departing visitors. VEMS will replace the manual survey conducted by the Bureau of Statistics at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport and the Chedijagan International Airport by early 2022. Don't go away after the break. At least 1 dead, Vancouver port closed in Canada floods, and Uganda capital Kampala hit by twin suicide bombing. But before that, here's the bridge retraction schedule.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized care, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Becaphonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Cross Street or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Kingdom-based taxi service, transportation for every occasion. Short drop, airport, weddings, funerals, and much more. We're located at Lot H. Durbin and Vicingen Road, next to Green City Bar. For honest, efficient, and reliable service, call Kingdom-based taxi service at 648-5959 or 227-7937. You can count on us.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. A year ago, the small island of Providencia was devastated by the strongest hurricane to ever hit Colombia, flattening its infrastructure. President Ivan Duque promised it would all be rebuilt in 100 days after the Category 5 storm hit. But the residents say that this is not the case. Al Jazeera's Alexandria Rampieti reports.
For Norley Robinson, a year later feels much like the first day after her house was destroyed by Hurricane Iota. She and her family remain in a tent with holes now letting the rain through. Memories of the devastation still haunt her.
If they have a heart, I beg them to please help us. We need a house. We need to be living comfortably again. It has been very difficult. It is still very difficult.
84 Afro-Caribbean families of this small Colombian island are frustrated, still waiting for a house to rebuild their lives. A year ago, the Category 5 hurricane destroyed 98% of the infrastructure. President Ivan Duque promised to rebuild in 100 days, but reconstruction has been very slow. The remains of the old hospital have yet to be demolished. Limited care is offered in temporary tents.
It's frustrating. Health should be a priority. We should have a better separation for COVID patients. But here, it is everybody with everybody.
Following complaints and under increasing pressure for the slow progress, the government contractor has indeed increased the speed of reconstruction in the last couple of months, promising now to deliver roughly half of the new homes for the first anniversary. Blessed by one of the longest coral reefs in the world, Providencia has long resisted mass tourism, large resorts and shopping malls, defending its traditional raizal culture. But no tourism at all has deeply impacted economic hardships. Fisherman and community leader Edgar Stevens says many believe the delay hides a darker plan. He says the rebuilding has prioritized estates by mainland and foreign investors, and authorities are trying to restart long-opposed plans like the expansion of the airport.
We fear that they are trying to tire people, so they will start selling their land. Or how do you explain that there is no hospital yet, or that the houses they're building are not made to last? The hurricane was a godsend for Colombia's political elite.
The United Nations Development Program plans to stream a concert and launch a crowdsourcing drive to raise funds and bring attention to the plight of its inhabitants. But many here are left wondering when they will return to a dignified home and if they will be able to sustain their traditional way of life. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Island of Providencia.
Internationally, at least one person has been killed by a landslide in Canada following major flooding, and 2 others are missing. Extreme weather on the west coast has forced the closure of almost every road to and from the Greater Vancouver area, which counts nearly 2.5 million people. Al Jazeera's Jody Vance reports.
Stranded for days. This airlift was forced to wait for the extreme weather to subside before helicopters could even begin to rescue motorists trapped by the floodwaters. This is just one of many similar scenes happening across British Columbia. Meteorologists warned of the approaching atmospheric river headed toward the west coast of Canada late last week. None could have predicted just how much rain would fall or for how long. Record rains devastated major highways. One by one, they were all closed. The first to close, due to a mudslide, was the busiest, the Coquihalla Highway, with a major connection between the Port of Vancouver and the rest of Canada, sustaining major damage. And officials have yet to determine any timeline on reopening.
In the case of a debris, it may be as simple as moving the debris and ensuring that the road is safe. It may be in other areas that there needs to be additional work done. But the bottom line is this: those technical assessments are being done, and the Ministry of Transportation and Highways are working as hard as they can to get roads open as quickly and as safely as possible.
Evacuations and rescues remain the priority, also with the search and recovery of anyone reported missing. Deadly heat and wildfires in summer, and just 5 months later, record rain and flooding, all adding volume to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's plea at COP26 about the impacts of the climate emergency in Canada.
Canada is warming on average twice as quickly as the rest of the world. And in our north, it's 3 times quicker. The science is clear. We must do more and faster.
With the storm now past, the repair and reopening timeline is the looming concern. Jody Vance, Al Jazeera, Vancouver.
And finally, at least 3 civilians have been killed in a double suicide bombing in the Ugandan capital, Kampala. One explosion happened near a checkpoint at the Central Police Station, and the second near the Parliament building. Al Jazeera's Catherine Soy has more.
This is the moment the first bomb exploded in Kampala. At a checkpoint at the Central Police Station, exactly 3 minutes later, a second went off near the Parliament building. 3 suicide bombers were involved. They were killed along with 3 other people. Dozens were injured. This footage was released by the police, who said a 4th man was arrested and a suicide jacket found at his home.
Very unfortunate. It's happening at such a time that we're trying to go back to our normal livelihoods. So if these people can come at such a premises of police and set off a bomb, then you know things are not good.
The aftermath shows how powerful the blasts were. Broken windows, burning vehicles, and terrified people. Police say the attacks were carried out by a gang working alongside the Allied Democratic Forces. The armed group has its roots in Uganda, but is now based in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Its fighters have killed thousands of people in the east in recent years.
The hallmarks of the attack clearly indicate
that the ADF-linked radicalized groups who still have a desire to carry out lethal attacks on soft targets using suicide attackers and improvised explosive devices behind these attacks.
This attack follows 2 others last month. One killed a waitress in a restaurant and a second on a bus 2 days later injured several people. ISIL claimed those attacks. The ADF has pledged its allegiance to the group.
The involvement of the Ugandan army in the peacekeeping missions in the region, especially in Somalia, makes Uganda a target of some of these groups.
What's happening in Uganda also comes at a time when the military is planning to deploy its soldiers to eastern DRC to help Congolese troops and UN peacekeepers fight ADF. There, they'll help Congolese troops and UN peacekeepers to fight ADF forces. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3-day weather forecast. And that is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.